What the hell are they teaching Nigerian children in school? I just watched a video of something that seems to be a diction class. Please, guys, I want you guys to listen to this.
The Pact and Privacy of Personal Property was printed in paper. He gave a poor explanation of the possibility of postponing the preliminary plans to put a new production manager in place.
Paul's preposterous imprint to performance was pretty personal and lacked propriety. Penelope promoted a healthy peasant appearance in her new spring compilation.
Although pizzas are popular, most people prefer pretzels. Thank you.
First sentence.
The Pact of Privacy of Personal Property was printed in the paper.
First sentence.
The Pact and Privacy of Personal Properties was printed in the paper.
Second sentence.
He gave a poor explanation of the possibilities of postponing the
You're not making a video.
What the hell is that? What is this? Palpala. Like, what the hell is that? Sending your children to Nigerian schools and they are teaching them how to speak this useless nonsense wannabe American accent. What the hell is this? When will we as black people have some self-esteem, have some confidence that our accent is part of our identity? Our accent, the way we talk, is part of our identity. Of course, learn how to pronounce your words right, but the accent is intrinsically part of who we are. It's fine if you have a foreign accent, maybe you grew up abroad or you were born abroad, but I don't understand sending children to a Nigerian-based school, children who were born and bred in Nigeria, only for them to come back with this kind of half-baked, useless accent. Nigerian diction teachers, I want you guys to listen to what a Nigerian accent, an educated, polished Nigerian accent sounds like.
I didn't think of myself as black when I was in Nigeria. I didn't need to. So we identify on the basis of ethnicity and religion, but not race, because we don't need to. And I think it would be different if I were from South Africa, maybe even Kenya, but Nigeria, no. And when I went to the US, it was a very strange thing, because it's one thing to know intellectually that there's race in America, and I had seen Roots and that sort of thing.
Contest between the sexes, which I'd witnessed in my own society. And so I moved back home, mentally, imaginatively, that is, from Eugene O'Neill in Europe to Baroka, who became the representative of that kind of relationship. And that
the bad image of Africa was largely created by literature. The writings of Europeans over a period of 400 years.
Did you guys hear that? Clear, distinct, articulate, eloquent, precise, beautiful, original, authentic, African. It's just beautiful. Really beautiful. It's not popular, yours, Gerd. You guys are teaching Bobrisky's accent in schools in the name of elocution or in the name of diction or phonetics. That's nonsense. That's rubbish. Stop. And parents who are paying for their children to go and learn this nonsense, is that how low self-esteemed you are? Is that the kind of colonial mindset you want to give to your children? It might not be so much of a qualms if they were even learning the actual accents the way it is, but popular, just enmeshing an American accent and a British accent together and forming a very deadly, crass sounding accent in the name of, you want to sound like Oyibo.
Okay, so Solomon Buchi there, and I could relate with that. I could relate. A lot of the time, a lot of the monies that Nigerians are paying for school in Nigeria, they're just paying for accent, with all due respect. I'm not here to analyze educational system anywhere of Nigeria in any country, but I tell you that some people are paying so much money to schools who just go about teaching accent, because you want to learn diction, you want to learn pronunciation, and you are stealing, you are pursuing your identity, you are demonizing your identity, your ethnicity, just because you want to sound like a people that will never bother to sound like you. All of us as parents made that mistake. I was telling somebody some days ago, back in Nigeria, looking for a school. Okay, I wasn't so keen on the school with diction. My kids did attend quite a decent school, but not so. I'm not the person that is scrabbling for name and brand when it comes to school. A few things I check out, and then they got in, they did well, they good school. Yeah, but I know that they introduced some level of diction classes at some point in all of that those times. So that being said, there was no problem. But relocating them out of Nigeria now, we are doing our best to teach them a local dialect. So it's the hustle and bustle, running a tasketa to teach your kids how to sound like the Westerners. Only for you to get to the West, and then you are going to teach them how to how to speak your local dialect. There is nothing as funny as that. And then I've been speaking to my friends, and I see how they try to communicate to their children in their local dialect, because you can't throw away your identity. You have to. I've virtually stopped calling my kids their English name, returning back to their local name or traditional names or cultural names. All of these identity must be. So if you are still lucky to be in Nigeria, please spend more time building and instructing your children, grooming them on the ethnicity. Teach them the culture, the tradition, the ways of the people, not the barbaric one that they are going to read, because over here you are likely going to have access to materials that will demonize even the culture that is being practiced there. But if they are grounded, they have a voice, they can stand it. And advantageously for me, my kids didn't come here as babies, as it were. So a lot advantage. Why am I saying all of this? This is the reason why we are in a mess situation, because if you don't ground these guys with the cultural, with the heritage, with the identity that they are supposed to, when they get out of the space, which of course is okay for them to, they are likely going to be they will not have any link. They need to grow in economic, have economic power, have social status, build influence, developing all of the technological and scientific prowess, then go back to the continent, to the country, and see how they can improve their lives. But if the identity is not there, there is nothing that links them with the identity, they will just feel lost. And I'm quite proud for what Solomon did there. Okay, these two particular posts, they are different. The two of them I shared. One of them he did the other after maybe he released the first. They needed to go and bring attraction, because all of these things these guys are learning in these schools just rubbish. I can even see the accent you can't even know whether this is British or American accent, because the teacher is just there trying to sound one kind. But come on for them. I remember my personal story. I remember when I was working in a TV station back in Nigeria, and then I don't know if it was somebody that wants to mock me and said that I was sounding like a Benin person on TV, and I've never tried my best not to run away from my identity. Even if I speak spoken English that you would appreciate that this guy is fluent, the link to my identity should be there. I can't help it. It's okay for it to be there, because the South Africans, the Rwandans, the Kenyans, the Ugandans, they speak English, and then till today, if you hear the Indians and the Pakistanis and everybody speak English, if you hear a Briton, even the Irish English is different. So why won't you hear a French person know that this is French, even if the person tries to sound so why is it only in Africa or in Nigeria particularly SuperSport employs South African English presenters that have South African accents, but it is Nigerian presenters that you will not hear, and we are supposed to have that as an advantage, so to speak, to also be able to connect, but we are the one running away. So somebody demonized. I didn't know. I was just worried, and that's why I appreciate the man, the CEO at that time. I was just worried, and I was looking. So one day he met me in the corridors of the office, and he said, I don't know whether it was God or whatever it was. He just told me somebody called him, somebody that was high in government had spoken to him that time. And he said he was fatally pleased with how I speak. I should not change the way I speak. That it's very clear, very audible, very connected, very relatable. And that was all I needed, right? I went to a meeting years later, and I heard for the first time somebody say you have a refined Benin accent. It made sense to me. That is what I want. There should be a refined accent of your heritage. not try to run away from where you are from because you want to sound like who? Sound like who? In this country, I speak to black in English. I don't try to speak to them in the way. Because if I try to understand, you should try to understand me. You can't force me. And thank God for environment like this where it is English they want to hear. They don't want you to pronounce it in a certain way. Speak in a way that especially when you are dealing with people, when maybe you're in the heads or leadership or whatever sector you are in, and you have to interact with people. Maybe you're even in the communication sector, you speak with people. A lot more time they are interested in knowing how you sound so that they can, but nobody demonizes you for how you sound, because all of these guys that are Asians that are here, all of them see sound Asian. You can see here Asians or Asian in their English. Why are we deceiving ourselves? All of these children you are sending to schools in Nigeria, paying 1,900,000, 2 million, 3 million to go and learn diction, you are wasting your time. Sit them at home and talk to them and stop wasting that money. Invest that money in the future. There's a video I think I even have when a person was saying, stop investing for them, invest in them. The more they should be building, you should be building cultural values. You should be looking at how to communicate, how to strengthen relationship, bond with them. Instead of all this, I know of somebody that sent his children to a boarding house far away, over 6 states, across 6 states, just because there's a diction process you want to. Which person has really gotten job in Nigeria because of the way it sounds? Saying addiction, give and work. You go work for radio station. I sent somebody's voice CV. In radio, I used to work in radio station, by the way. So in radio, there used to be voice CV where you will do a 1-minute talk that can be posted around to a few of the executive or anybody, the producers and all of that, whether you are seeking for internship or you are seeking for contract and all of that. So I sent to one of my guys and I say he's tired of hearing English that doesn't sound, that is not smart. A lot of these people carrying foreign accent around, they don't get sense. They can't speak very shallow understand. They're always talking entertainment and fashion. Nobody is good. How many of them can really enter politics and make the digger? Can enter history, can enter culture. So they're always shallow, but they carry accent. All first, pop, I don't go cut on God. I'm out of here. Oh, it's not paying me.